Over the last 15 years, I have observed and experienced something that has been absolutely pivotal to my growth and the thriving of my relationships. And that is this: the people that I look up to the most in life. I'm talking about the people that I see as thriving in their relationships, thriving in their businesses, uh, giving back in their communities, and just genuinely having this glow about them, this inner joy in how they show up in the world. I've noticed that those people are willing to do something that most people are not. And they're willing to try new things that other people generally are not willing to try because they're not so afraid of looking silly or doing something that's a little cringe, which I hear is the new cool. Anyway, but those people are willing to lean into that discomfort with the intention of getting to the other side of it. They see doing something that has proof of results for other people is likely to bring them through a portal to a place in which they want to go next. And what I'm going to share with you today is one of those practices in which it's kind of like how I see yoga was in the late 60s and early 70s. It was highly stigmatized. It was seen as something that those people do over there. Like, ooh, like that's weird. That's cringy. That's for hippies and crazy people. But now it's for everybody. It's for soccer moms. It's for the highly committed yogis and people going to festivals. It's for the elite millionaires and billionaires. It's for kids. It's for everybody. What I'm going to share with you today is something that I see being the yoga of today. Something that if more people knew about this practice and the fundamental principles that run through this practice, we would have much healthier, happier relationships, families, communities, and the world at large. And that is the 6 healing sounds from the Universal Tao system. So you all, I don't identify as Taoist, but I do find a lot of value in the principles and practices that come along with Taoism and the offshoots of Taoism, like the Universal Tao system, which was developed by Montauk Chia. I do it at least once a day, every day, sometimes multiple times a day. I do it in different ways. I do a longer form version either in the morning or at night, and then I will do the different sounds. There's 6 healing sounds. I'll do certain sounds at different times of day, depending on what I'm feeling like I need in terms of a little pick-me-up. And you might understand a little bit more when I explain more about the 6 healing sounds. But this is one of those things that I really encourage you to consider, to try out your discernment system, try getting in touch with as I talk about the 6 healing sounds and a little bit more about the Universal Tao system. If this is something that you might just lean into a little bit and try, be willing to feel a little cringe and a little weird, because I'll tell you, when I first tried the 6 healing sounds 6 or 7 years ago, I just almost couldn't stop laughing because I thought it was so ridiculous. But then when I allowed myself to really be open to the possibility of what it could bring for me if I leaned into it and gave myself to it for just 20 minutes, then it gave me like tenfold of the energy that I put into it. So that's why I still do it today, and I'm so excited to share it with you. All right, so just a little more history before we dive in to what the 6 healing sounds is, which I'm not going to go through the actual 6 healing sounds practice with you, because it takes me about 15 minutes to do it. And I think it does require just a little bit of context. So I created a video for you, which you can download in the show notes below, where I will guide you through the 6 healing sounds and just the whole process. So you can just do it along with me. You don't have to like memorize what I'm telling you here right now. Montauk Chia brought the Universal Tao system to the West in the 70s. This guy learned from multiple masters who like trained in the mountains of China alone, sitting with themselves in silence and darkness and with all the elements, and their experience in such a high vibration place many thousands of years ago, passed down through many, many, many generations and masters, that they were able to identify the different sounds and colors and elements associated with different parts of our body and see that what is going on the outside of us, what is happening on the macrocosm, is also happening on the microcosm, which is a pretty cool realization and knowing to have, that we can utilize what we're experiencing on the outside of us to bring cleansing and rejuvenation to within us. It's like that age-old hermetic axiom, which I've said I don't know how many times so far in the videos that I've made on this channel: as above, so below; as without, so within. This is a fundamental acknowledgement in the work that I do and how I show up in the world. And I really invite you to sit with that as I talk about the 6 healing sounds. And when you leave this video, to consider that. Consider if that's true, that what I see on the outside is a reflection of what I'm experiencing within me in my internal experience. And what I'm experiencing internally within me is a reflection of what I'm being shown on the outside. How does that change the way that I show up in the world? I really invite you to consider that, because the implications in really considering that, you all, are profound and life-changing. So the 6 healing sounds operates on this premise. When we look within ourselves and the processes, the magical processes. I mean, our body is not just a meat suit, you all. It is a freaking miracle that our heart can beat without us doing anything. We're not doing it. Our lungs are being breathed without us consciously breathing them. Our liver is functioning, doing all of its work without us having to like check off to-do lists and all the little things that it does every day, all day. Our kidneys, our spleen, our digestive system, like all of it, our blood flow, our nervous system. It is incredible. We are living in the highest technology, equipment, and software that we could possibly imagine. But we cannot adequately, efficiently utilize this technology that is our bodies if we don't acknowledge the highest level technology that it is. And that's another reason I love the Universal Tao teachings, is because unlike many religions out there, and this isn't like a religion, but it is an acknowledgement of that we are spiritual, miraculous beings living with these high technology apparatuses that we get to experience life through every day. It makes rejuvenation and connection with the divine and the mystery accessible to each one of us, meaning we don't have to go to a temple or an institution and ask for connection through the divine, through the great spirit and life, through an intermediary, through another human. We each have access to rejuvenation, connection with the divine, and utilizing that to live prosperous lives, we each have that ability to do that. No matter who we are, no matter what socioeconomic level that we are, no matter our gender, our sex, our job description, we each have the ability to access this practice. So the 6 healing sounds really focuses on 5 major organs, and it sees each organ as representative of a different season of the year, representing a different color, and representing a different element, earth element, and each one has a different sound that facilitates in the cleansing and rejuvenation of the organ. And the principle here is that if we can give some help, give a little extra assistance to our organs, then we can cleanse out the negative, unsavory energies that each different organ holds and those different representative energies that it holds, and bring rejuvenation and more generative chi energy to each organ so that it can emanate the more positive energy that we are going for in life. And when we do this on a consistent basis, we are able to show up in our relationships with the people that we care about the most with more clarity. We're able to show up without so much of those negative energies and memories. We can show up with more consciousness when we have done the personal work to let go of and bring more life and spirit into our body. Then we can show up and be able to sit with the people that we love, show up to our workplaces, and show up from a place that's true for us with more clarity and more life running through our body. We become more magnetic and easier to be around, easier for us to be around ourselves, and therefore we make it easier for other people to be around us and to want to be around us when we are emanating that glow and that inner smile and that energy of vitality. Then we just become so magnetic. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. All right. So in the 6 healing sounds, you can do the 6 healing sounds either seated like I am or standing. I prefer to do them standing because it allows for easier energy movement when you're doing the 6 healing sounds, but you can absolutely do them sitting down. You can even do them laying down at night or anytime if you need to lay down. Whatever your physical condition may be, whatever different mobility levels you have access to, you can do the 6 healing sounds. At first, Montauk Chia talks about doing the sounds out loud and really getting into that practice. And then he also says that you can also do the sounds within yourself. So if you're in a public space, maybe you're about to go into a meeting, or maybe you're in a conversation with your husband or wife, and you're feeling your heart beating, and it's an intense conversation, and it's bringing up a lot of emotion and past memory. You can do the sound of the lungs within yourself to bring calm into your lungs. We really underestimate how much power each one of us has to bring rejuvenation and life into our bodies with our conscious attention. It really is extraordinary. So what I do is every morning, ideally, sometimes life is nuts and I miss doing my morning 6 healing sounds. I'll do it in the afternoon or in the evening. I try to once a day do a full 6 healing sounds practice, which takes about 15 minutes to do. And like I just mentioned, I'll bring in the different sounds as needed, kind of like little pick-me-ups that don't cost me any money. I don't have to go somewhere special to get this pick-me-up. It's always accessible to me at any time for free, just the cost of my time and attention. So I love that about this practice. So as I mentioned, each organ represents a different season. So I think it's so cool that during different seasons, we can, knowing what organ is associated with the season, we can do more sounds and intentional focus on that specific organ related to the season. So for instance, right now we're at the end of winter and going into spring. So the associated organ with winter is the kidneys, and the associated organ with spring is the liver. So when we're in that particular season, we can do more of the sounds because those organs tend to work harder during those particular seasons. And that brings more chi, more vitality into us. So if you're noticing you're feeling tired, just having a day where you're feeling sluggish and your body just feels off, you can notice the season. Okay, what season am I in? Find the organ associated and do that sound just a little more often in your practice. Instead of doing the sound once, you can do the sound 3 times, 5 times, and bring more energy into your life that way. So really cool stuff. I know it's a little out there. It might be a little weird. You might really be like questioning my sanity right now. I don't know, but I don't really care because this has done wonders for me and I just love sharing about it. So I'm going to just briefly touch on each organ, each element, which is really important to touch on the element. And then I'm going to invite you to check out the link below, get access to the video where I'm guiding you through the whole process. So you can just hit play and either stand up, sit down, lay down. If you want to just do this within yourself at first, whatever works for you, whatever is accessible to you, I would encourage you to do that. Another cool thing about the 6 healing sounds and the Universal Tao system is the acknowledgement of the earth elements. So each organ is associated with an element. So the lungs are associated with the mineral element, and the mineral element gives life to the water element, which is the kidneys. The water element gives life to the wood element, which is the liver. And then the liver, the wood element, gives life to the fire element, the heart. And the fire element gives life to the ashes and the earth element. So we acknowledge each element, each season within us, all associated with different colors. By the end of the practice, you all, it is such a wonderful feeling to it feels like being reunited with family you haven't seen in a while or something. I don't know how to explain it, but when I was first doing this practice, and still to this day, when I do the practice, by the end of it, I feel so much more connected with who I am and my body and my ability to make impact in my day, because I've touched base with each organ. I've acknowledged each organ. I've gone through this process of just saying like, wow, thank you to my being, to this body, this temple that I'm in. And I feel like I'm glowing. Like I can actually, like I'm not a person that sees auras, but I just like feel my aura, my energy field expand, and I'm able to just show up with more love and joy and acceptance in my life, which like who doesn't want that? So I really encourage you to try it out. Check out the link below. And this is a vital part of what I do and the work that I do. So I trust that you enjoyed this video, and I'm wishing you a fantastic week ahead.